Justin, how are you today?
Good, how are you doing?
Great. Can I get you anything to drink?
Oh, I think I'm good.
All right, have a seat.
Thank you.
Coming all the way from Iowa. Wow, must have been quite a trip.
Yeah, my flight just got in, so my flight went well, so everything's going good.
Good. How's the weather in Iowa?
Oh, the weather's doing fine. It's a little bit cold, but it's getting on the warmer side, so I'm getting excited to get to spend a little more time outside. So.
Yes, love the shorts and t-shirts.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for making the trip for this interview.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So as you know, we've invited you here to Washington, D.C. for this interview for the nursing internship here at Children's National Medical Center. Our goal is to find newly graduated nursing students from accredited college that are looking for the experience to make that transition from the clinical nursing experience to the real-world nursing experience. And of course, being a children's hospital, all of our nurses must show that deep compassion and love for the children.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you don't mind, I'll just be asking you some questions related to the position and information you have given me from your resume, and I'm hoping this will give me a better idea if you're a good fit for the job.
Okay, sounds great.
So to start off, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself, Justin?
Yeah, well, of course, my name is Justin. I just graduated from Coe College, which is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's the second largest city in Iowa, not huge like Washington, D.C. by any means. But I'm from a small town, Clinton, Iowa. It's right on the tip of Iowa. And I have, me and my mom and my dad are pretty close, and I have one sister who just is in graduate school in Chicago. And I'm really close with my parents, and my mom is actually a nurse too. So.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like you're really close to your family. Do you think the distance from Washington, D.C. to Iowa will be an issue?
No, I think I'm just kind of ready to get on, get a little new experience, a little new chapter in my life.
Yes. So why exactly are you interested in this internship?
Well, I'm really interested in this internship to get experience. I think that I've had a lot of clinical experience so far, and I just kind of want to get to that real-world nursing to see what it's all about, just to get my feet wet.
Yes. The experience is the best thing to do to become that great nurse.
Yeah.
I see you went to Coe College in Iowa. What are some of the qualities that you feel you gained while in the nursing program at Coe that some other nursing students might not graduate with?
Definitely. Well, one great thing about Coe is that we have a really interactive classroom. All of our nursing professors expected us to have the reading done, expected us to know what was going on, so that when we did have class time, we could break up in smaller groups, get that critical thinking, because that was one huge thing that they wanted to craft us into critical thinkers, so in situations we could be the first to step up and just kind of prove it. Also, we had a one-on-one preceptorship while I was in the nursing program at Coe, and so that was really nice that I just got to pair up with one staff nurse and get all my experience that way.
Not many students get that chance. I mean, a lot of the larger colleges, it's a 10-to-1 ratio with the preceptorship.
Yeah.
So with that one-on-one preceptorship, did you relocate it in one position, or did you get to rotate floors in the hospital?
Yeah, actually, I got to switch every semester. In some semesters, I would switch in the middle of the semesters, like the psych unit, a little bit smaller. But then I kind of got to craft it myself, whatever I was really interested in. I got to spend the most time there, and so I know my senior year, I chose to do the pediatrics because I was really interested in. That's where my heart was, to help the little children. So.
Yes, we love the children.
Yep.
Okay, well, it seems like you have been involved in a wide variety of leadership roles while at Coe. How do you feel that this involvement will help you in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I think that one huge thing, I was the student body president at Coe, as you probably saw from my resume, and I was also the president of the Student Nursing Association. I was also in a fraternity, the vice president, and also the secretary. So I had a wide range of duties while I was at Coe. But one of the main things for me was when I was student body president, I was kind of the communication between the students and the administration. And so something that I think will really help me in experience is, I think that's kind of like nursing. I have to relay everything from my patients to the doctors. I kind of have to be that middleman, and so that's something that just correlates really well and I have a lot of experience with.
Yeah, that is, very related.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say the most stressful situation was within all of those leadership roles?
Well, probably the most stressful situation is just time management. I always had to be here for a meeting, be there for a meeting, always had to, these kids were talking to me, I had to have a meeting once a week with the Vice President of Student Affairs. I was just always so busy and still had to get all those A's while I was in school. So it was really hard balancing all my time out, but once I got those time management skills and got everything under control, it was so easy to just transition in from one thing to the next.
Yeah, it might have been easier to give up all that stuff, but I bet
Yeah.
you would never take that back.
No, definitely. I think that that has really crafted who I am today.
Yeah, well, leadership is definitely a role that we look to increase in our interns. Instead of sitting back in those critical situations, we want to train our interns so that they don't hesitate, and they're the ones to step forward and make a difference both within the hospital and outside of the hospital.
Right, yeah.
So if you were to get hired in this position, some of your roles would be to assist the nurse with all of their tasks such as meds and checking vitals, assessments on the patients, charting, checkups, but most importantly, providing an atmosphere for the children, like one that they would like to live in.
Yeah.
So I see that you have experience as a CNA, so similar duties would be requested, along with even more responsibilities since you're recently graduated nurse. So we can expect more of you.
Definitely.
But could you just tell me a little bit about your time as a CNA and the roles that were expected of you?
Yeah, I've been a CNA since my junior year in high school. So I got hired to be in a telemetry unit, a progressive care unit. So I had a lot of cardiac patients. And then when I got to progress and I went to college, I would always come home for breaks or come home during summer, and so I got to just kind of float around in the hospital I wanted because I was kind of on a PRN status. So whenever they needed me, they'd always give me a call. So some of the great experiences that I've had is I've got to float everywhere in the hospital. I've been anywhere from the ER to the operating room, to the cardiac units, to the critical care units, and the pediatric units. I've just had so much experience, and some of the duties I had to do was take vitals for the nurses, pass meal trays, get the patient's garbage, answer call lights, just kind of be there for the patient and help the nurse in any way that I can, and be anything that I was asked of, just be sure that I succeeded and did everything to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I know as a nurse, we really appreciate the CNA's help. Sometimes it can be dirty work, but it's definitely rewarding.
Definitely.
So as a CNA or in your clinicals at CO, did you ever come across a patient that would not listen or cooperate with you? And if so, what did you do in that situation?
Yeah, I think we've all had those patients that wouldn't cooperate. But some of the tasks that I have found that have really helped me to get patients to cooperate is just sit down with them and talk with them. Find out what's going on in their life. Be that person that they want to talk to, because most of the time when somebody's uncooperative, there's something underlying there that they're not telling anybody. So if you just sit down with them, get personal with them, they'll tell you their story, and they'll kind of just tell you what's going on with their day and what's going on with their life, and you can get to the problem, you can get to the bottom of it, and then by the end of it, then they're very cooperative. They always want to be there and help you then, and so just being there for the patient is what I really think is key in this situation.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Sometimes, they're just lonely and just need a friend to talk to.
Yeah, and as a nurse, that's a great thing that we get to do, is just kind of be there to be their friend.
Yes.
So.
Not only are you working with the patients, as we just talked about, but you're also working with other CNAs, nurses, doctors, patients' family, and so on. So what do you feel are some of the most important characteristics that you have to have when working with such a variety of people?
Yeah, I think the main characteristic that you need is communication. You have to be able to let the patient know what's going on in this situation, the little children, but also talk to their family to what the nurses are telling you, so that they're educated and they're not worrying too much about their kids, and just knowing all that. So I definitely think the key is communication, just being there whenever you need, and just let people know if you need help, or if people need help, just tell them that you will help them and be there for them.